The movie starts out good. There's lots of action, lots of everything going on, until there's too much and it starts to slow down. And it's not because things start to get emotional between Stark and Potts. That's actually a good thing. We get to see a nicer, may I say, side of Stark that we really couldn't quite grasp on Iron Man 1. Potts and Stark's lines get clever and wittier on this movie than the first one, which I think people really respond to that. People seem to really respond positive to those kinds of chit-chatty dialogues like we see on Sherlock Holmes. They're just quite entertaining. We also get to see a more emotional side of Stark we couldn't quite grasp on Iron Man 1. We get to see, strange as it seems, a relationship with his dad. Yeah, he's dead, right? Okay, why is Iron Man 1 better than 2? At one point on 2, there's just so many things going on and so many new characters. You're just waiting for it all to keep on happening, but it takes the easy way out and ends abruptly, or gets lost in like the bitter context and the bitter storyline. Iron Man 2 was made to prepare us for Avengers and Thor, and by that it just forgets to be something on its own. Black Widow, great character for fans of the comics, but the movie could have been exactly the same without her. She had no big influences in any of the characters' decisions except for this one scene. I can't tell you about that. Although I must admit that her 5 minutes of action were just quite entertaining to watch. Whiplash's character, or Mickey Rourke's character, at first I thought his acting was hideous, but I told myself, okay, no, this is Mickey Rourke we're talking about, I can't go wrong. So I watched the movie again, and I realized, shit, it's his dialogues, they fucking suck. Why? Because they're cliches, they're lazy. One minute he's talking to Stark all like, oh yes, blah blah blah, important big words, and another second he's like, my bird, where's the bird, I want the bird. That's just not, his dialogues were not smart, they weren't thought out as good. Whiplash as a character, you start out, you watch the trailer and you're like, okay, he's gonna be the main villain. The movie starts out with his, I can't tell you, with a background story. You're like, okay, this dude's gonna be the main villain, and he's eventually not. He's more like the other dude's bitch, because he starts out with lots of action scenes. It's really entertaining. Okay, nonetheless, the action scenes are really good. The special effects are great, of course. The music makes you really savor it. The problem was they're all at night. Unlike Iron Man 1, we get to see scenes in broad daylight in the freaking desert. Here you don't. That's kind of typical, kind of around at night, but still very good to watch. All in all, it's still great. I mean, you have to watch it. You watched one, you're gonna watch the Avengers, you gotta watch this one. They kind of have, what I like about Iron Man is that they kind of have the Batman Begins formula, where they take the whole superhero concept and make it a bit more serious without being boring like Hulk 1. The movie is visually captivating, it's funny, witty, like I said. It's just the storyline and some of the dialogues that kind of bum you out a bit. I'll give it an 8 out of 10. But still, you've got to watch it. You got to create your own opinion about it. For those of you who already watched it, I'm going to tell you some little facts, like Emily Blunt, Jessica Biel, Gemma Arterton, Natalie Portman, Jessica Alba, and Angelina Jolie were all like candidates for Black Widow. I'm actually kind of happy they chose Scarlett. She's cool. Stark's characterization was inspired by the dude that developed the atomic bomb. How creepy is that? Al Pacino was considered for the part of Justin Hammer. What would that been like? Sam Rockwell was considered for Tony Stark. Yeah, I'm actually kind of quite glad they chose Robert to do that. This one, Iron Man 2, is based on the comic Demon in a Bottle. Of course, they mixed two villains into one, which is Whiplash. Okay, so now You can go watch the fucking movie. You've got my approval, dude.